Anna's eyes fluttered open to an unusual weight on her chest. 3 sets of luminescent eyes stared down at her, attached to small, furry bodies that chirped softly in the dim light of her dormitory room. She froze, her brain struggling to process what she was seeing. Predator cubs. 3 of them, sitting on her desk, which they'd apparently dragged closer to her bed while she slept. The Velcrin species was known throughout the galactic community as apex hunters, 7 feet tall when fully grown, with retractable claws that could slice through reinforced steel and a pack mentality that made them nearly unstoppable in combat. Their cubs, however, looked almost adorable with their oversized paws and uncertain movements. "How did you get in here?" Anna whispered, slowly sitting up. The cubs tilted their heads in unison, their translator collars glowing faintly. One of them, the smallest, chirped again and held out what appeared to be a half-eaten ration bardot before Anna could react. Her door chimed urgently. She grabbed her academy robe and opened it to find Alexander, her study partner from xenobiology class, standing in the hallway with a datapad clutched in his hand. His usually composed expression was replaced with something between alarm and confusion. "Anna, we need to talk. Right now." Alexander pushed past her, then stopped dead when he saw the cubs. "Oh no. Oh, this is bad. What's going on?" Anna asked, closing the door behind him. One of the cubs hopped off the desk and padded over to Alexander, sniffing his boots with interest. Alexander held up his datapad, displaying what looked like an official academy notice. The Velcrin delegation arrived early for the cultural exchange program. Apparently, their cubs escaped from the diplomatic quarters about 4 hours ago. Security's been searching the entire residential sector. Anna glanced back at the cubs, who were now playing with her bedsheets, their needle-sharp teeth catching the light. But why did they come to my room? That's the complicated part. Alexander scrolled through the datapad. The Academy's eye system ran a compatibility scan when the Velcrin registered their delegation. It analyzes behavioral patterns, biochemistry, pheromone profiles, everything. You. He paused, his expression growing more serious. You were flagged as high-value civilian in their assessment protocol. What does that even mean? It means their species instincts have categorized you as worth protecting. As Pack, Alexander ran a hand through his hair. Anna, humans weren't supposed to register on their scale at all. We're classified as a Death World species, sure, but we're not predators in the traditional sense. We're endurance hunters, tool users. The Velcrin are ambush predators, completely different evolutionary path. One of the cubs climbed onto Anna's lap and curled up, purring in a way that sounded like a miniature engine. She tentatively placed a hand on its head, and it pressed into her palm, the purring intensifying. "They've imprinted on me," Anna said softly, the realization dawning on her. "That's what you're trying to tell me." Alexander nodded grimly. "The cubs must have followed your scent trail from the xenobiology lab. You spent 6 hours there yesterday, working on the ecosystem project, remember? Their olfactory senses are sophisticated enough to track across the entire campus." He sat down on her desk chair, watching the cubs with scientific fascination, despite the situation. The high-value civilian designation isn't just about protection. In Velcrin culture, it's a social contract. Their cubs don't imprint randomly. They recognize certain traits: resilience, adaptability, protective instincts. You're saying they think I'm ... double quotes. Anna couldn't finish the sentence. One of them? In a way, yes. Alexander leaned forward. Humans survived an ice age, multiple plagues, and managed to build civilizations on a planet that actively tried to kill them for millennia. We cooperate, we strategize, we protect our vulnerable. To a species like the Velcrin, those traits read as compatible pack behavior. A soft knock interrupted them. Anna and Alexander exchanged glances before she opened the door to reveal a towering Velcrin female, her silver fur marked with ceremonial paint. 2 Academy security officers flanked her, looking deeply uncomfortable. "I am Matriarch Severin," the Velcrin said, her translator rendering her growling voice into smooth, diplomatic tones. "I believe my offspring have adopted you." Anna stepped aside, revealing the 3 cubs who immediately perked up at the sight of their mother. But they didn't move from Anna's room. The smallest one chirped and gestured to Anna with a paw. Severin's ears flicked forward a sign of surprise that Alexander recognized from his studies. "Extraordinary," the matriarch murmured, entering the room. "They've never refused my summons before." She fixed her amber eyes on Anna. "What is your name, young human?" "Anna, Mom?" "Anna Chun." The matriarch circled her slowly, taking in her scent. The cubs watched the interaction carefully. Finally, Severin's posture relaxed as she made a deep rumbling sound that the translator rendered as laughter. "The Academy AI was correct. You carry the markers of a pack leader calm under pressure, protective without aggression, strategic thinking." She glanced at Alexander. "And you, male human?" "Alexander Torres, xenobiology student." He stood, maintaining respectful eye contact. "I'm trying to help Anna understand what's happening." "What is happening?" Severin said, her tone becoming more formal. "Is that my cubs have chosen their first interspecies pack bond. In 3,000 years of galactic integration, this has occurred only twice before never, with a human." She looked back at Anna. "If you accept, you would be granted honorary Velcrin status. My cubs would return to their quarters, but they would seek you out for bonding sessions. You would be under the protection of our clan, and we would expect the same loyalty in return." Anna felt the weight of 3 small bodies pressed against her legs, the trust implicit in their proximity. She thought about her xenobiology classes, about the lectures on building bridges between species, about the careful diplomacy that held the galactic community together. "I accept," she said quietly. Alexander exhaled slowly, and Matriarch Severin's posture shifted into what could only be described as satisfaction. "Then welcome, Anna Chun," Severin said, "to the first human Velcrin pack bond in history. The cubs have chosen well. Humans may be young to the galaxy, but perhaps that is precisely what we need, a species that refuses to be limited by what came before." As the first rays of artificial dawn filtered through her window, Anna looked down at the cubs now playing at her feet, then at Alexander's awed expression, and finally at the matriarch's respectful nod. The galaxy, she realized, had just gotten a lot more interesting, and humanity's reputation as the universe's most adaptable species had just been proven once again.